Hey everybody, welcome back. If you listened to my last few episodes, you heard me talk with Robbie Fowler about the SEO project that we're doing on my site. And then last week I tried this thing where I basically read through the SEO copy that we'd written out for our podcast production services page. And while I think it was interesting to hear how the keywords were woven into that, to me, it was really boring to read that episode, and you might have been bored too. Maybe you found it interesting, but I didn't get any feedback at either way. So I felt weird about that episode, and I'm not going to do that. Maybe you'll hear me talk about some of the other pages in a few weeks. But I've been recording recently. I've gotten some great interviews I want to share. There's a lot of other topics I want to talk about. So I'm changing course. Hopefully, you aren't looking forward to hearing me read another script or something like that this week. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to talk about something else. Today, I want to talk to you a little bit more about the business that I started, the podcast production business, Emerald City Productions. Many years ago now, almost 13 years ago, started as a music recording business. If you go back to episode 119, you heard me talk about how I built the actual business from starting as a music production engineer, starting a recording studio, but then realizing that that was frustrating and switching to being a podcast editor and starting by myself for free and growing it to the point where I had a little bit of a team. And now it's a team of 10 plus and 30 plus shows each week. And I'm more out of the day to day. I'm working on the business, growing it, things like that. So go back to episode 119 to hear that. But today I want to talk about how we manage that team, what we use, and what tools do we use and how do we use them? You've maybe heard me talk about Asana before. I've done a couple episodes talking about some of their recommendations for things, but that's what I want to talk about today. How we use Asana to manage our clients, manage our team, get the work done, make things function in this agency, this podcast production agency. And then I also want to talk about the tool that I use for my membership site and for my courses. It's maybe a tool you haven't heard of before, but I want to share what we do in there and what a great tool it is. And that tool is actually called Brand You Funnels. It is a branded product by Mike Kim. You've heard me mention him many times. And we use it for our membership site and other things. And it's built on a platform called Go High Level, which, as I understand it, was built by a bunch of former ClickFunnels employees, people that wanted to start something new and better. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Asana, how we use it to manage the business, manage the team, manage our clients, manage all the episodes that we work on, and then also Brand You Funnels, how we manage our membership site and courses and things like that. So first, let's talk about Asana. If you're not familiar with Asana, it's a project management tool. It is free. You can do a lot with it for free. We've used it many years now. We chose it over other ones like Trello, which is more of a Scrum board model, if you're familiar with that term. Well, you Six Sigma people out there. No, not Six Sigma. I forget. I don't know all those management things. I didn't go to business school. So we use Asana essentially to do a bunch of different things. First of all, we use it to onboard our clients. And in that step, we have a project that we create where we can keep track of all the steps in the process, from the discovery call to the sales call to the strategy call to the kickoff call to sending the agreement to filling out the onboarding form, choosing title of podcast, all the steps that need to happen in the process of launching a podcast or bringing on a new show that's already existing. We keep track of all those steps in that process. And the cool thing about Asana is that under a project, you have tasks. And under the tasks, you can have subtasks. So if you have a task, let's say for setting up a media host account on Libsyn, you can then create subtasks for all the steps. So you could actually use Asana as your place for all your SOPs, all your standard operating procedures if you have a team. So that's been very helpful. And I think in terms of general team management, I should talk a little bit more about that first. So Asana allows you to add a bunch of team members. It's owned by one person, but then you can also create multiple businesses, multiple boards. I forget what you want to call them, multiple Asana projects, things like that, where I could have multiple businesses managed under one Asana account. essentially. And so I can put all my team members in there. And then what that allows us to do is when we have a task, when we have a project, those things can be assigned to individuals. You can tell them what to do. You can tell them how to do that. You can give them the tasks. You can attach files. You can paste links. You can have descriptions. You can set colors. You can set due dates. You can set there's so many different things you can do to keep stuff straight and organized. And I love organization. I'm a type A, whatever you want to call that really likes to have all the information. And the cool thing about Asana is not only can you have all the information there, like I said, you can attach things. So we can keep records, we can keep files that everyone needs to have access to. If you're trying to coordinate between Google Drive and Dropbox and all those sorts of things, you can actually do a lot of that just in Asana, where you can keep everything together. So if we go back to onboarding clients, record keeping is a big deal there. If we get a brand guide, so we got colors and we got fonts for a certain podcast and we got their artwork, we can keep that in their Asana onboarding tasks so that if we ever have to go back to it, we can find that information. We can keep the information of what day their show publishes on, just in case we ever lose it or we forget or somebody needs to check. We can keep all of this data in one place that everybody has access to. So that's the really great thing about it. So let me talk about podcasts in general. Once we've onboarded people, we've got the podcast, we do a bunch of different things in terms of keeping record of what's there. Like I said, you can set the color. You can set a tab color that shows you, like we use the colors for the day of the week that the episodes normally release. We also can tag anything that goes along with that podcast with day tags. You can create tags of all sorts of types so you can organize things and filter things. We also keep in our main podcast area of project, I don't want to confuse you with all the terms, we keep a template for the episodes so that each week when an episode comes in, we can duplicate that template and we don't have to recreate it every time. And it's wonderful because you can duplicate tasks, you can duplicate templates, you can move tasks to other projects, you can copy, like all these wonderful things that you want to be able to do. Asana pretty much does it. So let me get down even to more detail about the episodes. When we get an episode, we put the title of the episode in it so everybody can see it, and we have a description that has some of the information from the client and all the things we need to know. But we also have multiple tasks under every episode. So the person that receives the files, the project manager that receives the files, he has a task. So when it happens, he duplicates the episode task, sets it up, and checks off that he's gotten all the files. They're in the right place. He's assigned the responsibilities to the members of the team that need to have them, and he checks off his task. Then it goes to the editor, and the editor has a task that says, here's the details for this thing. This is when it's due by. This is what you need to do. Here's any special notes. And then under his task, he has some subtasks, like remember to pull a quote for the audiogram. Remember to make a mix. Remember to upload the edited stems from the episode so that if we ever had to reconstruct the episode, we could do that. We could actually grab it from Asana, which is great. And then it goes to the copywriter, and the copywriter has multiple tasks under there. Write the show notes. If there are any resources, any URLs that were shared, they're put there for the copywriter. Write the social media posts, write the blog posts. If there are any downloadables, create those as well. And then it goes to another project manager who has a task for creating the social media graphics and scheduling things in Libsyn and scheduling things in the social media scheduler, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then we've got a final review task. So we've got a QC, quality control check task that a project manager does, or I do. We listen to the episode all the way through to make sure that it sounds right, make sure everything's there. There's nothing weird, nothing wrong, no F-bombs that didn't get bleeped out if they need to get bleeped out, things like that. And then our operations manager does a final review of everything, reviews all the copy, make sure there's no typos, make sure there's nothing weird, make sure everything's scheduled, make sure all the links work, all those types of things. And then on the day that it publishes, we have a final task for an episode publishing to make sure that it went out, make sure that it looks right, sounds right, all that sort of stuff. So if we have to make any changes, we can do that. So that's how we use Asana, sort of in a nutshell. It's a bunch of things all in one place. It's really easy for people to learn, really easy for people to keep track of. They can look at a view of just their tasks. They could click on the project for the podcast to see all the episodes that are there. There's a search bar, so if you needed to search for another team member's tasks, you can find them. Or if you just have a keyword that you want to search for to see if you can find something that you're missing, you can get all of that there. So it's a wonderful tool. We use it. I don't know where we would be without it. Honestly, there's in the last 2 to 3 months, you all may be familiar that Amazon Web Services has had some issues where they've had servers go down in their East Coast headquarters, and like it took down Asana for an hour, and we were like, well, we can't do anything because pretty much everything is in Asana, even though we got things connected and we could go back to emails and could find information if we needed to. Our day-to-day tasks are on Asana, which is why I think, Asana has done some work recently in Slack and a bunch of other places that use Amazon Web Services to create some more redundancies, because the redundancies that Amazon had apparently weren't enough for them. Okay, so let me talk about now on the personal brand side of things. So let's move away from Emerald City Productions. So those of you know, you've heard the ad at the beginning of episodes for a while, the Podcaster Pod, our membership site, where we have a course, Podcasting 101, 10 modules. We have a Slack channel where people can communicate. We have monthly Q&A calls. We have expert calls, all those wonderful things. Well, we needed a place to manage them. And what do we do? Where do we construct the course? So originally I had the course, I constructed it in Kajabi, and that was great. And I had the Slack channel, and I had my email list on ConvertKit, and I had all these things. And then came time, well, let's launch. We got to create a funnel. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's all these things everywhere. If we create a funnel now, we got to click funnels, and it's just too much. So my colleague, Mike Kim, also a client, as part of his book launch last year, he created a SaaS product, essentially a tool for managing website, email list, funnels, everything, sales funnels, all in the same software, same app. And it's called Brand You Funnels. There will be a link in the show notes. So if you wanted to sign up or check it out, it's a really great tool where you can build your website, you can set up your email list, you can send out email sequences. It's an eCRM. That's the term that I should probably use for it. So you can manage all of your customers, manage your email list. You can also communicate with them. You can set up sales funnels. So you could create sales pages, websites where people click, and you can connect your payment processing through Stripe, and then it adds them into your eCRM, and it adds them into email sequences, and it's all automated. It's wonderful. It's a really great tool. It's only $97 a month too. So I was paying $150 a month to be able to create, I think it's 3 courses on Kajabi. And Kajabi, you can also do websites. You can also do email list over there. But $150 for 3 courses. Well, in Brand New Funnels, I can have unlimited courses. It's $97 a month. I can manage my email list in there. If I didn't already have a website, I could build a website. I could set up multiple funnels, I can tag people in any number of ways and keep track of it and do all this stuff in one place. It's really great. And it's built on a platform called Go High Level. But the product itself is called Brand New Funnels. They have a wonderful support community, wonderful Slack community for help where you can ask questions. And I need to have Connie Pack, who is running this for Mike, on the show to interview her about it. But it's just wonderful. And so what did we do? We moved everything there. We designed the course. We brought it over from Kajabi, designed the course. It's easy to add to. Manages all the email that comes in and out. So if somebody signs up for the Podcaster Pod, they immediately get some emails. I get emails notifying me to add them into the Slack channel. And then I can manage all the accounts. So I can set up coupon codes. So like right now, if you join the Podcaster Pod and use the code JOINPODPOD, you get a free month. Well, I set that up in Brand New Funnels right there. I didn't have to do any special zaps. I didn't have to tag do anything else anywhere else. It's great. And I think I have like multiple different coupon codes, because when we launched, I had I think it was a lower price, and then there was a 3 months free thing. And then I had other students who had gone through podcast accelerators or podcast launch intensives in the past who came in. I gave them free, 6 months free, because they had paid $1,000 to go through a 10-week program and things like that. So you can do benefits for people, and it's just wonderful. And the funnels tool is very easy to use. It's very helpful. So if you've never built sales pages, you've never done welcome sequences, you've never done nurturing email sequences and funnels, sales funnels that actually make more sales and bring people back through. Brand New Funnels has all of that stuff. You can have the sales pages and the websites. You can set up your payment options. You even have countdowns. So like you can shut things off and you can make deals go away. Like if you say this is only for 10 days, you can automatically shut it off in there with different plugins and things like that. It's really great. I love it. And for saving $53 a month over Kajabi, there's nothing better. There's no really better tool out there. So like I said, I'll have a link to Brand New Funnels that you can check out in the show notes. Also, you should definitely check out Asana. I don't think I have a link for Asana, but I'll put one in the show notes if you need it. So I hope this was helpful for you today to see what we've been using and how I actually run my business on the agency side and then also on the membership side. And if this was helpful, I'd love to hear from you. You can always email me, Danny@emeraldcitypro.com. You can leave voicemail feedback at speakpipe.com/podcast strategies. And if you have other feedback, please leave a review. Anywhere you listen to podcasts, I would love to get a review from you to hear what you like about the show, what you don't like about the show. Share honest feedback. I would love to have it. And I will be back next week. I'm trying to think what I'm going to talk about next week. I may bring an interview. I've been doing some great interviews recently with some content marketing experts and some lawyers. I don't know what I'll talk about yet, but I'll bring something that you will enjoy and hopefully will help you out. So thank you for joining me again this week, and I will see you soon.